Hello, welcome to JIBRIN ANGEL on Oweleke TV. Today we shall be discussing about the political update on the crisis in Rivers State. We have our guest, our regular special guest, who does it better than any other person. His name is Barrister Austin Manta, the principal partner of A.A. Manta and Co. He is a legal practitioner who has been in practice for almost 40 years now. So when you mention lawyers, he is categorized as not just a senior lawyer, is among the topmost senior lawyers, So that is just, he's a political analyst as well. And we shall be talking about politics and law in our discussion today. Barrister Austin Manta, thank you so much. Welcome to our show again. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Right. Once again, viewers, as I said earlier, we shall be delving into what is happening in Rivers State for weeks now, several weeks, if not months. We have had political situation, very ugly political situation, some usual, some unusual situation playing out in Rivers State between the current governor and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike. The current governor is Fubara. So many of us know about the issue, but some of us don't know the latest. So we want to find out the latest on that issue. But before then, Barrister, I don't know if sorry, I didn't give you a hint of this about this, but just briefly before we go to the topic of the day, what have you got to say? I don't know if you read about the this Emefiele's story, the latest about Emefiele, how he opened about 560 something bank accounts abroad. What's your opinion about this?
Well, I was just reading the report of the special investigation that the Tinubu ordered on Emefiele yesterday in the night online. It's a handful. The issues are so weighty,
honestly,
that one cannot approach them in a sentence or in 5 minutes. What I read and what I saw horrendous. They are almost unbelievable.
Honestly.
As at this morning, some of the issues include the fact that Emefiele surreptitiously used illegal funds of the CBN to buy 3 banks in Nigeria. And the investigator is calling on the government to take over those banks. I'm seeing that the CCTV footage of Emefiele removing $6.something million from the vaults of the CBN. There is a whole lot. Something is so vast and involves trillions, not billions, trillions. At the end of it, you are talking of trillions of naira. The rot is unbelievable in the CBN.
How did we get this wrong with Emefiele, for God's sake?
Well, I don't know. You know, Emefiele's tenure traversed, I think
Buhari.
3 presidents.
3 or 2?
I believe 2 from
2 from Jonathan.
From Yaradua to Jonathan to Buhari.
No, not Yaradua now. From Jonathan to Buhari.
Confirm. I think it's from it's from Yaradua. I think 3 presidents. But let's take it that is 2. But I want to confirm when he was appointed, whether it was under Yaradua and Jonathan took him over, because that is the feeling I have.
No,
But
remember,
I'm yet to confirm.
It was during Jonathan. Remember, Sunusi served under Jonathan too. Remember, it was after
Okay,
Sunusi.
you are right. So it is after
Yes,
after Sanusi's
Sunusi.
tenure. After
Yes,
Sanusi's tenure that Emefiele came on board.
correct.
And his tenure was renewed by Buhari. I once mentioned on this program how some henchmen in Buhari administration used to go to central bank and pick up any amount of foreign currency, pound sterling, euro, dollars, go outside, exchange it at the official rate. I mean, sell it at the unofficial rate and bring back at the official rate and make hundreds of millions. All these things were going on. They were open knowledge to a lot of Nigerians. And he used those connections with those powerful people to secure a renewal of his term under Buhari. And we saw how from towards the end of Buhari's tenure, I also mentioned on this program before that he violated serious provisions of the CBN Act in lending by what they call ways and means. But the law that created the central bank said if you lend to the federal government, in that year, they must pay back before you will lend again.
Another one, yeah.
And he lent to the federal government under Buhari a total of 27 trillion.
What?
In transpassing several years without any repayment. And when in the twilight of Buhari's administration, when they were trying to go, they tried to hide it under the appropriation of the National Assembly. They took it to the National Assembly that, look, we have this thing, can you quickly pass it as this thing? And the National Assembly wisely refused. That was the last month of Buhari's administration. So that issue is there. There are serious violations of the CBN Act where he is not supposed to contest because you are not a politician. He bought form and you cannot buy form except you are a member of the party. So all these things were out there in the public. It's not as if people did not know the rot that was going on in the CBN. The former president turned a blind eye, apparently because he suited his own agenda, and those of his cronies and henchmen. And they were the ones propelling him. And I also mentioned that it will not be right if Emefiele is proceeded against without the former president being called to question. But that is what I am seeing happening. As at, I think as at yesterday, he was able to perfect his bail terms and he was released from prison. In a kind of, they tried to hide it out.
You mean he has been released?
Yes, that's what I read yesterday, that he was able to perfect his bail conditions and was released unobstructedly without people, the rest of the people knowing. But some journalists were able to capture it and they put it out there in the
that press. Guy he don't escape finish, no matter the bail condition. He don't escape finish. He go follow border now, follow land.
I have told you before that at the end of the day, nothing is going to happen to Emefiele. Because the rot is such that if he were to really come down and speak up, I don't think there will be many people who will survive both in Buhari's government and in the present government.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised they released him because I was like, my own thought was that guy will be poisoned in jail, honestly, because he knows too much.
So what I know is that a way will be found where he will get soft landing at the end of the day. But if we are to dwell on the corruption, on the rot, it is gargantuan. It is unbelievable.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Even though I didn't inform you, give you prior information about that topic. You actually did justice to that. All right, let's move to the main topic of the day. Now, can you give us an update? Just an update as to now we understand the public, we know about the Aso Rock meeting or whatever, but what is the situation right now? Can you give us a rundown on what is going on? That is from the last time we discussed it. Last week we discussed it to this time. What are the new things we can say has happened, and what is happening now? What is the situation as it stands?
As at the last time we discussed this topic on this program,
yes,
we talked about the 27 or so members of the House that have decamped to from the PDP to the APC. And we talk about the fact that by law, they are deemed to have lost their seats in the House of Assembly. We talk about the group of 5 that were still sitting and had elected a speaker and the legality of their sitting. Now, what had not happened at that time was the intervention of President Tinubu. This happened after our interview of last week. So from there, the president summoned the governor, the 27 members, and other 2 former governors of Rivers State, Ada George and Peter Odili, and other people to Aso Rock. At that time, a lot of people did not understand what really happened. But as the terms of the so-called settlement has been released, there is shock and anger, not just in Rivers State, but throughout the country.
The country, yes, sir.
Because what we saw was a total surrender by Governor Fubara. Of all the points that were agreed upon, about 8 points, the only thing in his favor is dropping the impeachment. So there's anger as we speak now. Yesterday, there were protests in Port Harcourt. And the latest is that the elders, the Rivers State elders, have filed a suit in court against the president, against the governor himself, and the camping members and others. So the situation is still evolving, even though they said to be a settlement. The situation has not settled. There's anger.
Yeah, well, now the 27 members, are they back in session?
The 27 members, one of the resolutions that was accepted was that the 27 members will continue and that the governor will represent the budget
yeah,
to them. That the governor will represent the budget to them. They will withdraw their notice of impeachment.
So has that been done?
Yes, they sat and they withdrew the notice of impeachment that they wanted to serve on the governor. The governor, in turn, has instructed his solicitors to withdraw the suit that he filed. So all these things are in spite of the legal issues involved. So people are angry that how can the president come and ignore the legal processes, the constitutional issues, and make what appeared to be a directive or directives against in a situation that the legal system is handling, is involved in. And from my own perspective, I think a lot of the problem or the blame should fall on the governor. It would appear as if we were in haste to
back him up.
To attribute some courage to him, because definitely he did not display any courage
at all
in that meeting. And being that he is a PDP governor, I expected that when he was called for a meeting by the president, he would have gone with PDP national officials, because it was both a political as well as a state issue. The other members who come to the APC, Tinubu is said to be their leader. In fact, somebody posted an issue that a member asked Tinubu in that meeting about the 27 that decamped. And he said, well, if you are in a family and people enter your family, you don't chase them away. He made a jest of it. And he went ahead to say that if the governor had himself, he would have preferred the governor himself to decamp to the APC, and there would have been no issue of impeachment if the governor had done that. So you see, one thing that it laid bare is the weakness of the PDP, the opposition party. They had their governor there being assailed by APC. 27 members from their party decamped, and they were threatening to impeach the governor. The PDP national leadership was not very proactive. They offered no protection to the governor. Maybe perhaps that is the reason why the governor felt that he had no choice but to surrender and succumb to the wiles of his godfather.
Honestly, when I read about this, I felt extremely bad, and I felt betrayed on behalf of the people of Rivers State and Nigerians, because this is a governor. There is no governor that garnered national support as this. We have had situations like this in the past. You enumerate in the last program. You on this show you enumerated the previous cases, similar cases we've had in the past. All those cases never attracted public sympathy, national sympathy as this one. There was a kind of a synergy between the governor's situation and the entire nation, not just from the Rivers State alone, but nationally. It attracted national interest. Yet this man, I've never seen such a person. Honestly, politicians, they say politicians, not just politicians, anything that has to do with the public. What gives you energy? What boosts your morale is the energy coming from the public. As a footballer, as a sportsman, or as a politician, the moment you are doing something, and you see the energy coming from the public is positively in your favor, it energizes you, it makes you stronger, it builds your courage, it builds your tenacity, it builds your strength, it builds your resilience. But I don't know this is crazy to me. I don't know if I can't remember any politician globally, anyone that behaved this way, where the entire public, from your primary constituency even to the larger constituency, were all backing you up, favoring you, commending you, encouraging you. Yet, for God's sake, in the first place, you even mentioned of president. Already, if I were in his shoes, I won't answer the president. I'm telling you, this is a democracy. The president, the governor was elected just as the president was. It's the same process, for God's sake. The governor, just like you pointed it out on the last show, the way everything, the governor is a replica of the president in his own state. So the governor is like, if he's called governor, but he's the president of his own state. He's the one presiding. He has the same apparatus around him. He has the legislature. He has the judiciary, just like the president does. So why would it? In fact, that, when you even use that word, say that was wrong for you. I didn't expect that from you because you said the president summoned. Who I have there? That was wrong. In a democratic setting, the president cannot summon the governor of a state. Who is he? If not that Nigeria is so corrupt, where you just so we believe in that this our presidential system is that we see the president as God. Otherwise, why would Tinubu summon anyone, any elected official? The president does not even have the right to summon anyone that is elected, even a House of Rep member. He does not have right to summon even the House of Assembly member, not to talk of a governor. So if I were in that governor's shoes, I am telling you that invitation, whatever you call it summon. Me, I'd rather call it invitation. I will not. Besides, we don't even belong to the same party. Why do I have to be there? I wouldn't have. Honestly, if I were in Divan's shoes, I wouldn't have. Now, this useless man who is an ingrate, I see him as an ingrate. He's so weak. I can understand why the Wike chose him. This is the reason why Wike chose him. Because he knew quite all right that this man is a chicken. He's a weak man that he can manipulate. Otherwise, how could you? I have the agreement written here, 8 points. Everything. I read everything. Everything from the number 1 to the 8 points. No one favored you. Everything favored Wike. What kind of agreement was that? Could you have signed it? It made me think about hypnosis. Probably when he got there, probably they used a kind of voodoo on him, use or whatever to really turn his head. Because that is the only thing this is the only reason that came to mind to the effect of as to why he did what he did. That is the only reason that this man could have done this under some kind of duress or probably a kind of influence, and an external influence. A sort of.
Don't forget that it was not only him that signed that resolution. 2 former governors, Peter Odili and Ada George, and others signed it. But what I want to point out, there is one particular clause when I saw it that I gave up on the governor. The commissioners that
yes, correct,
nominated by Wike that resigned on the
come back.
He is being directed to resubmit their very name to the 27-member House of Assembly, so that how can you to top the point, some of these commissioners were very rude to the governor. So how can you sit there and agree that you will work with them, that you will bring them back and work with them? And when you look at the further evidence that came up, we are told that Governor Wike tied the entire revenue of the state, the IGR, to specific projects. The money coming to the state from the federation account was already tied by Wike to specific projects. So that as the money is coming, it's sent to the bank and the bank paid the contractors. So for a long time to come, the governor is just going to be sitting there and watching as things unfold. And then in respect of the internal revenue, that part that I talk about is from federation account. In respect of the internal revenue, what we heard is that the internal revenue came down from about 15 billion to 6 billion.
What?
The IGR under Wike was about 15 billion. And in the 6 months that Fubara has been governor, the thing has been coming down to 6 billion. And the governor, who was the accountant general of the state under Wike, queried why the IGR was coming down. And he didn't get any answer. So he brought a consultant to look at it. And that is where the problem came. When they asked the people who were in charge of the internal revenue why this is happening, they asked him that has he spoken to Oga? That is wicked. That is where the problem came. And those people now went to Wike and told him that, look, this is what this man is trying to do. So from all what we're hearing, that is the genesis of the crisis. So it comes down to issues of money, as simple as that. It comes down to issues of money. It is so unfortunate. This is somebody whom the whole people were behind him. The elders, everybody was behind the governor.
And honestly.
And the law was also in his favor.
Yes, that's another thing.
Why do you go? There was a court order pending in his favor. So why do you go and surrender everything?
Honestly.
To come back to a former status quo that you saw was not correct. Why do you go back to Egypt?
Yes.
When you have already crossed the Red Sea, why do you go back to Egypt?
The guy is weak. Even his face is in fact, I've been hearing that, but the day I saw him speak live on the telly. I looked at his face, the way he even talks. I didn't see energy from this guy. I didn't see any strength from this guy. I didn't see that manliness, that masculinity coming from him. I didn't see the man weakness is just written all over him. It's just written all over him. But I can't understand why such a person, a governor, as powerful as he is, the constitution arrogates so much power to you as a governor. You behave in such a manner. I don't get it. This is unbelievable.
Are you aware that the news out there is that, you know, River State has two aeroplanes?
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that.
They are controlled by Wike up to today.
Wow. Really?
Yes. The governor has no power over the two aircraft. They are parked in Abuja and used by the former governor.
Wow. Really?
And the further issue was that he was told not to be coming to Abuja, to stay in Port Harcourt and work. So if ever the governor is to come to Abuja, he will get permission from his godfather. So these are some of the things that when you hear this and you see the man's capitulation, you tend to write him off. Perhaps that's the reason why some people in River State have felt that the governor cannot fight, let them take up the fight by themselves.
Yeah, but again, that brings me to the next question, Barrister. What can they do? What can they do?
At the end of the day, they cannot do anything. They can only resort to judicial process, which they have. I'm told they have filed a case. I have not seen
hold on. Now, you as a lawyer, what judicial process are you talking about? Now, this executive governor agrees to play along. I don't understand. Can the judiciary stop him from carrying out his constitutional role?
The judiciary can stop the 27 members from being members, from continuing to be members of the House of Assembly. So on the basis of their
who took them to court? Does the person have modus operandi? Sorry, has what do you call it in law? Has
local standard.
Local, you're correct. Does the person have local standard for that? That's the point.
Yes. People have the political party under which they were elected, the PDP, has the local standard to challenge it. The people of River State, whether in various associations or groups, have local standard to challenge their continued sitting in the House of Assembly, because it is about lawmaking for River State. So various groups, I'm told that it's the elders and other groups in River State that went to court. I'm yet to see the details of the
court,
that was
of the
yesterday.
court
I'm yet to
filing.
see the details of the
Filing.
filing. But they can be challenged.
Yeah, but yeah, but that is one part, because you have mentioned so many things that is wrong with all these things. The legislature is one of them. Okay, what about this issue of spending? You talked about 15 billion depleting to 6 billion IGR. So what is there any way the so-called elders, or not just so-called, they are real elder, because they are standing on the right stop, on the right footing. So is there anything that can be done about that? We have other things he does. You don't mention he controls the airplane. He controls the resources of the. In fact, the bottom line is that Wike controls the resources, the entire resources of the state. What can be done legally? Is there anything that can be done legally to stop this, to circumvent this?
It's difficult for somebody outside to come into some of those administrative issues,
That's the point.
like the use of government property, like the aeroplane. If the governor does not want to,
yeah, that's the point.
The governor has the right now to take control of those aeroplanes. But if he refuses to do it, it's difficult for somebody outside to come and force him to do it.
That was my point. That's the point I made. Because
So
the governor is the one there.
It's not everything that is happening there that is wrong, that other people can intervene. But to the extent of constitutional provisions like decamping and remaining in the House of Assembly, other people can also challenge those things. But a lot of those things that we're saying, like presenting the list of these same commissioners that voluntarily resigned, representing their names to that illegal body, illegal House of Assembly.
Okay, that can be truncated by law.
Yes.
Okay.
So the presentation of the list cannot, because the list is the prerogative of the governor. But the continuous sitting and the deliberations of those 27 members can be challenged in court.
Honestly, this is just crazy stuff. Honestly, really, really crazy. I have never. This is. I don't know if you have read more. You read more than myself. So I don't know if there is any precedence to this where someone has an overwhelming support from the public, starting from the grassroots, his immediate constituency, to a much broader constituency, up to the national constituency, a sort of left, right, and center, front, middle, everywhere, support from everywhere, and overwhelming support, including support from the law, yet caved in to the powers that be. Have you ever noticed, have you read of such situation before?
Not really. All the cases that have happened in Nigeria have gone the other way. It comes down to a person's personal strength of character and determination that I will not allow this thing to go on in this manner. I told you about the case of Ngige in Anambra State back then with his godfather, Prince Uba, and other cases. So it comes down to the personal character, personal strength, and the focus and determination of the person who is presently occupying the governor's seat. And as you said, and as people are now saying, that Wike chose wisely.
That is it.
He chose wisely, knowing very well that the man doesn't have the
scruples,
to fight him, and he has just demonstrated
that is it,
that he's not ready for a fight. You are claiming that you are doing it for the peace of Rivers State, but this is what we call peace of the graveyard.
Honestly,
it's like somebody come to your house with a gun and say, okay, as long as be doing this, all the wrong things, as long as you are doing it, it's okay. Now you say to us, for my peace, I will do what the person say. But you know that peace is not real peace.
Yeah, but who knows what? Anyway, I don't know because the guy is naturally weak. Because otherwise, I would have just thought. That's what I thought. Not I would have. I think I thought something went on in that Aso Rock. Because these guys in power, they operate on different levels. Because power goes with some spiritual connotations or strains. Who knows what they did to him? Who knows what happened? What kind of or whatever? Because he basically went in there with all the people there, no one from his own side, no one, nobody, everyone there on the list that we had at least so far were people who are on the side of Wike. Who does that? Would you go to a reconciliation meeting with just with everyone, your opponents, as your opponent, you are the one, you stood all by yourself, alone. Nobody does that. You were so-called summoned by the president for settlement, and you allow this nonsense. Oddly, I don't even know why Oddly said, because I read from reports. I learned that Oddly supports that guy seriously, very, very. It's on the side of the governor. Why Oddly did that? It's all about money. At the same time, who knows how much what has gone behind the scene with Oddly for him to even do that? Because that Fubara, that I was told that Fubara is Oddly support is seriously backing him. So, and the same Oddly was seriously. That means he too himself has tested part of the carrots that was dangled. So that is just unfortunate and so sad.
The agreement was received with disbelief throughout River State and even the whole country. So
Honestly.
some people try to defend, to pretend, or try to say some things in favor of the governor, like, okay, maybe that he didn't sign it, the agreement. Later they say, no, he didn't sign with the red biro because the governor is supposed to sign with the red biro. All this is the disbelief that was producing the defense.
Yes, of
Trying
course.
to produce the defense. That how can the man sign? But the
Honestly,
governor came out. The governor came out to say that he signed this for the peace of River State. What peace? So he apparently, I think he was intimidated because in Nigeria, the president holds the power of the security agencies. If the
sorry to cut you short. I understand that intimidation, yes. But honestly, I'd rather be impeached honorably than to chicken out. So to chicken in like this man did. I'd rather fight to the finish, just like what Ngige did. You remember during Ngige stood his ground. He stood his ground. He refused. If Ngige had humbled himself, has chickened out or chickened in, like what's his name, like Fubara did to Chris Ngige then, that honestly, that would have been Chris Uba. I mean, that would have been Ngige would have finished his term as governor. I'll probably do the next time. But Ngige stood his ground. He was tenacious. He was courageous. He had whatever. He had the apparatus. He was just a medical doctor. Was never a politician. Even at that, the guy fought a good fight. He was impeached, but he was impeached with dignity because he did not budge. He did not cave. And that is what I expected of this guy. No matter what kind of intimidation, whatever. Yes, he has the presidential powers or whatever. Worst case scenario, they eventually would defeat you. But at least it will be written, it will be carved, engraved in stone that sometimes in the past, so person, you behaved this way, you stood your ground. At least politically, people will. Now, honestly, this one, except something happens drastically from him, this has killed his political career for any future stuff.
There are those who also postulate that, as Bob Marley said, you fight and run away to fight another day. So some of them will.
What fight?
Feeling that well, he can accept these terms, but there will still be opportunity.
What opportunity?
Opportunity going forward for him to do what he wants, but it remains to be seen from the way
They
things are
say,
going.
they
It's
say
like they tied him on all sides.
that is the point. They say a smart man leaves the stage when the ovation is loudest. Eh? This guy was supposed, this is the right time to take action when the ovation, when the generality of the nation, of Nigerians, of the country, everyone are all on your side. And what kind of live to fight another day? That is nonsense. If that is his plan, if that is his intention behind this, that must be a very, very stupid and foolish intention. Very wrong permutation or projection for him to have to, if that is it, if your assumption is right. Because what kind of giving Wike more leverage, giving him more space, broadening his control, entrenches him even more. The more you allow this to continue, the more he's entrenched. So what are you talking about? By the time you feel you want to fight back, at that point at that time will be holding you in your scrotum. That's the truth. He will then be holding you in your scrotum that you just can't move anymore. That is just
what he has done. What he has done is to discourage his supporters and make them dispirited. People were up.
That is it.
In arms.
Honestly,
the Jaw people were threatening to march on Port Harcourt. A lot of people were threatening to march on Port Harcourt. They needed him to be their leader. They needed him to point the way forward. But he chickened out. And in the process, he discouraged and dispirited all the people who were rooting for him. That is the real damage and danger in the agreement that he signed.
Honestly, I thought Jonathan I considered him as the weakest. This guy is 10 times weaker than Jonathan. I'm telling you, 10 times, if not more. I don't understand why this guy would behave in such a manner. Anyway, again, honestly, I ascribe it to some kind of external forces. I'm telling you, Barrister, this cannot be ordinary. No sane man, no matter how weak you are, will sign this crazy stuff. This is a death warrant. This document is his death warrant, his political death warrant.
Don't forget that the man was never interested in the governorship from day one. He was railroaded into it by Wike. There were aspirants in River State, very vibrant and strong aspirants, but Wike settled on. In fact, he had to go and plead with many people, many groups, many elders in River State to allow him to choose his successor. The man did not on his own come out to contest for governor. He was not interested in it. He didn't fight for it. And as you heard, everybody that contested the election in River State under the platform of the PDP, all the 3 senators, all the House of Reps members, all the House of Assembly members, each of them, nobody bought a form. Wike bought the whole forms, nomination forms for each of them. Nobody used his money to buy a form in River State in PDP. They bought the forms and came and gave them.
Honestly, that Wike, honestly, no go die better. That guy is just unbelievable. Honestly. It's unfortunate, Nigeria. What do you expect? The person where they wrong go me, the president, your own foundation is even worse than any other person, any other leader in this country. So it's so sad, honestly. Barrister, we are we are rounding up. If there any other thing you want to say, have any other thoughts? Because I'm just pissed with this topic, honestly. Please go ahead.
My concluding statement is what I have always said. People know about political systems, about economic systems, If you are an economist, they will tell you, somebody will say, I'm a Keynesian economist. I'm an Adam Smith economist. When you come to politics, they will tell you democracy, dictatorship, theocracy, this and that. At the end of the day, I always tell people that Nigeria defies textbook definition in
Yes.
any respect. Don't bring your Adam Smith economist. Don't bring your Keynesian economist to Nigeria. Don't bring your democracy, theory of democracy to Nigeria. Don't bring anything that you see outside or in textbook or anything to Nigeria. Nigeria defies textbooks, theories, or perceptions, or anything. Whatever we are going to do in Nigeria to succeed, we have to develop it from within Nigeria. Otherwise, there's no forward movement for us.
Is that not, that's exactly, is that not what Obasanjo talked about, this issue of democracy? That we have to devise our own system. That this so-called borrowed, imported democracy, it won't work in Nigeria. A sort of that we have to build our own system. It has to be from the inside. We have to build something that is peculiar to us, and that's the truth, because the environment is completely different from other environments. The way we do things, the way we behave, the way we talk, the way we do things generally. So that's why our system has to be different from other climes. Anyway, thank you so very much, Barrister. Thank you for the updates. Thank you for the analysis and the comments. Viewers, you have been with us on this program, JIBRIN Angle. We've been talking about the updates, political situation, the update on the political situation in Rivers State. And you heard it all. If you joined us from the beginning, you watched it from the beginning, you heard everything, and that is just it. It's a very bad situation. Not surprise to us, to anyone that is a Nigerian, but very, very bad situation. Obviously, what we have going on in Rivers State is now it's also something that is replicated nationally at the national level, because the president himself, his sons are dirty, extremely dirty. We all know his story. Anyway, thank you for joining us. This is the JIBRIN Angle. Please join us again next week as we bring you a new topic of discussion, possibly the same Rivers State. Depends. If there is a new development in Rivers State, we shall be talking about that. Otherwise, if this development persists or continues, as it is today, I don't even want to talk about it, because it will keep aggravating my emotions, and I don't like that. Once again, Barrister, thank you very much. God bless you for joining us. Thank you for creating out time to be with us. Always. Anytime we call upon you, whatever the time is, you always create that time out of your busy schedule to be with us. We appreciate this so much. God bless you. Viewers, join us again next week, and remain blessed.